That day he made the remarkable line that asked myself which dictionary I didn't study, which Hadi did.
And I get a suspicion he was probably a Hafiz as well.
Yes, he will be remembered inshallah, because if a person like Hadi not going to exist in future, then Bangladesh has no future. That's my only thing. That madrasa's boys are not up to the mark. They are cat, they are uncultured, this and that. He told me over the phone, I wrote, Morar age amar er ki dekhaiba khoda, koite paro ei dainitar kon number soda.
Welcome everyone to a very special tribute to Shahid Osman Hadi from the centrist nation. This is Shafquat Rabbee. I'm the founder of this platform. Today I have a very special guest who knew Hadi very intimately. This is our special guest, Rahat Shantonu. He is a singer, composer, songwriter, and a political activist who was in exile in Australia with multiple cases against him during the last dictatorship in Bangladesh. Shantanu knew Hadi in various different ways, but one specific project that Shantanu did was Lal July, which is a very famous song that Hadi wrote, and Shantanu was the singer, composer, and the producer of that song, with the music video done by Mabrur Rashid Banna, who couldn't make it to this show today, but we'll catch up with him later on. So, Shantanu, welcome to the show, and let's start talking about Hadi. How did a quote-unquote rock star like yourself came to know about Hadi? Tell us about the introduction that you had with Hadi.
Thank you so much for having me, Bhaiya. It could be a very special day for us, a happy day for us, but sadly we're talking about our lost brothers today. As you asked, Hadi was a hero for me since the first day I know him, his work, his writing. The special thing about Hadi was he was so honest. During back in 2021, a lot of people used to message me that, I do write poem, I do write songs, could you do my, songs, this and that. And I used to tell them, okay, send your write-up. And most of the time the write-up was not very up to the mark. So one auspicious day, Hadi messaged me. And that time his name was Sharif. His first name was
Shimanto
Sharif. So he messaged me and I told him the same thing. Please, send me your write-up. And he sent me his first poem to me. The name was Rajasrabe Rashtra.
Which is, the translation for Rajasrabe Rashtra is the menstruation of the nation.
So I was shocked and I read the whole thing. And till that day, I was thinking about myself that, I know a little bit of Bangla well, like I know better than a lot of people. The first time when I read that thing, I asked myself which dictionary I didn't study, which Hadi did. So I called him straight away and I said, I will recite your poem, but I want to cut your hands. Like I was the Gabbar Singh of that type. But I need your hands. My God, he was so brilliant. And he was so polite, so humble.
Very, very humble.
So for me, for everyone else currently in Bangladesh or all over the world, Hadi is a hero. Hadi is the bravest, human being in Bangladesh. But for me, Hadi was the most humbled, the most pure soul that I met in my entire life. So yeah, that's how I started knowing Hadi. And since 2021 till of his last day, I was very much connected with him. We always used to discuss about things, our project, and he was such a visionary person.
So let's talk about a little bit more about Hadi's philosophy, right? So you knew him for about 4 years and you guys exchanged a lot of messages and discussions, like you were telling me before the show. So tell me about few things about the preparation that you think Hadi had, becoming the Hadi that became so popular online and his messages became so transparent about nationalism, religion, culture. He was a cultural activist primarily.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the preparation. Like, how do you think he became so knowledgeable at such a young age?
I think first thing first, his family. his family is so diverse. You know, the funny thing is, before knowing Hadi, because we grew up in the city, Dhaka, and then overseas and all that. So the sort of elite media houses always taught us that madrasa's boys are not up to the mark. They are cat, they are uncultured, this and that. So obviously, unknowingly, we had that back of our mind. After knowing Hadi, I was shocked. I was like, so whatever they told, all those, fascinating media houses was like fabricated lie. Absolutely. So what I was talking about, Hadi's family was so diverse, yet very practicing, very, rooted Muslim.
So he comes from a family full of teachers.
Oh, absolutely. His father was a madrasa principal, and also imam of the their local mosque. His mother was obviously a housewife, and there are all their brothers. I think 2 of their brothers did PhD. All their brothers and Hadi's sisters, they all are teacher in university.
And he was probably the youngest one among the lot?
Yes,
okay.
He was the youngest one, and he's the most loved ones. Like all of their brothers, sisters, they treated Hadi not like their brother, but their son, So Hadi got that love. What we see today, the whole Bangladesh, not only even Bangladesh, but all the other nations, from Australia, USA, Canada, UK, Pakistan, India, everyone is crying for Hadi. Actually, that was his destiny. Because he was so pure, his soul was so crystal clear. Today, the people, what they're seeing on the onlines, that Hadi's aggression, Hadi's conviction, he was exactly like Said when he was talked to one-to-one even.
So, for example, like one thing I would let the audience know. So I didn't know Hadi for long. I mean, personally, I knew about his videos and his speeches that used to go viral all the time. So I took the time to go through all of it, and he appeared to be a very interesting character. Like his messages are very transparent, very clear, very, very, very diverse. And Hadi was very inclusive in his commentary. And then at the same time, I also felt that he's also very misunderstood by a lot of people.
Certain people.
So then one of these days when I started reaching out to people for a political conversation series that we are running, Election Conversation is the name of the show. I thought this guy, because he's running from Dhaka 8, should be a fascinating candidate to interview. And that's how I put a note on my Facebook wall that I want to know Hadi. And then Shantonu was one of the persons who reached out to me and said, hey, you want to talk to Hadi? I have his number. And then I made an introduction. But when he came here in this studio, we didn't have this studio, but it was a different studio back then. He came here. At the end of the show was this rapid fire question. And in that rapid fire, he was not prepared. Hadi was not prepared for it. So Junaid Rabbani, who happens to be a very competent show host, Junaid Rabbani gave him words and sentences, and Hadi was supposed to give just one-word answers, like what it means. The clarity and the depth at which Hadi gave those answers made me ask you that question today, that tell me about this guy's preparation. How is he so good at...
He never even told me when we first started talking that he's a teacher of ciphers and he's been teaching IELTS course for last 10 years. He never even told me that he's a uni lecturer. So all those things came from other people, that, hey, Hadi is this, Hadi is that. So he was so humble, he never speak about his own success. So that's Hadi. In our current world, when we always scream about our own success, we brag about, us and all that, but he is one of a kind.
He was a very good student.
Absolutely. He was a gold medalist from the, because he did from year 1 to year 12 in madrasa. So all over Bangladesh, he was gold medalist in different,
He was a debater.
He was an excellent debater.
He was a lyricist.
Absolutely.
He was a
poet.
He was a poet.
He was a poet. He used to do, a lot of upasthit bhakti, that thing.
Yeah, like it's the instantaneous speeches. He was very good at that.
Those kind of thing. And
I get a suspicion he was probably a hafiz as well.
Yes.
So Hadi was a hafiz as well.
Yes. And the knowledge, and there's a lot of misconception that, very Islamist people, very practicing people. They are very regressive. They are towards women, towards a lot of issues and stuff. Hadi was so progressive in every aspect. Like if you read his writing, if you read his, even the song we did together, he's so ballistic. He was so, in fact, I was a little bit hesitant, like, should he really do this? Hadi, you should go a bit more, slow down, bro. But he was, no, bro, yeah, we have to do this, So those kind of thing. I'll tell you one thing. During July 24, I wake up around 7 o'clock in the morning one day and I saw his message. I called him instantly and he was crying that he said, Bhaiya, yesterday in Rampura, a meter away from me, a boy got a year 8 plus 8, a boy got a headshot. His brain was like, on the floor, and we did his janazah and everything. And he was crying and he was explaining me the whole thing, what they're doing. During that time, Hadi's wife was pregnant. And he used to get out of the house every day with all the medical reports so that if the police stops him, so that he can say, oh, I'm going to the hospital. That was his strategy. So what he used to do during the daytime, he used to do a protest. He was like one of the leader during the Rampura site where we are sitting right now.
Yeah.
At night, he used to talk to us with me in US, in Canada, because he has so many students all over the world, because he's been teaching IELTS for a long time. So anyway, the kind of gruesomeness, the kind of all the details, attention to details he was telling me, I told him, Hadi, that time I used to call him Sharif, as I said, I said, Sharif, Bhaiya, could you please write a rap song for me? And he was so, Bhaiya, I never wrote a rap song. I just write, simple poem. I said, nah, if anybody can write this rap song, that's only you. If I try, that would be a second-hand writing. You do it. And my responsibility is I will make that a song. And that's how the very next day, he sent me a massive write-up. I was like absolutely
blown away. Yeah.
Absolutely. I went to my wife. She was having breakfast and I told my wife, listen to this write-up. And I read out the whole thing to her.
And that's the Lal July song?
Lal July song.
Okay.
And that time, I think it was either 19th or 20th of July. Okay, if I'm not wrong. I do have the history in my phone, obviously, but still, approximately that time, the mid-July. And my wife is very, she doesn't have much political knowledge because she never stayed in Bangladesh that long. But yet I asked her, should I do this song? And she said, yes, you should do this song. I called Hadi then. I said, you are the Rabun. You know how Rabun had like 10 heads? I said, you are a Rabun. My God, I can't believe this, you wrote this thing. He asked me one thing, Bhaiya, I wrote also another 2 lines, but I don't have the courage to tell you or send you the 2 lines. So what sort of line is that? What line are we talking about? Can I say it? He told me over the phone. I wrote, Morar age amar er ki dekhaiba khoda, koite paro ei dainita kon nomruder soda.
So, say that one more time.
Morar age amar er ki dekhaiba khoda, koite paro ei dainita kon nomruder choda.
So just to translate that, right? So how many things should I see before I die so that I know which Namrud fucked this dictator?
Absolutely.
That's basically what he said.
And I was
so Hadi he used to use explicit words, and in one of his writings he said that for the oppressed, the curse word is rebellion.
Absolutely.
So when you have nothing else in your hands, no guns, nothing, all you got is your anger.
When people are killing that dictator or even whoever is killing our own kids, what they expect? We're going to kiss them, hug them.
And those 2 lines became the line that you guys amplified over and over throughout the recording, right? So that's spectacular. Okay, so that takes care of Hadi, who he was, sort of his family background, sort of his music. I have seen a music video, like a regular video where he was really dancing to the tune.
Concert, yes.
In concert.
Yes.
So tell us more about his cultural orientation. Like he was a Nazrul fan, and he was not opposed to any other types of musical branches of music, but he did demand that Bangladesh also has like a orientation to accept and embrace some of the more Muslim type of stuff, right? Like Hamnat. So did he ever open up to you about that?
Yeah, having said that, he was not only a Nazrul fan, he was also a Rabindranath fan. But his problem or our problem is the way the certain elite class portray Rabindranath above everything. That's our problem. The way Nazrul is a poet, a musician, a lyricist and everything, same thing goes for Rabindranath. Maybe he did a bit more work than anyone else because he was very blessed with a lot of things, which none of them has. Yeah. So, but these elite people, the Chayanot, like, you have to wear a sari in a certain way. You have to have a long this, long that. The guy has to hold the harmonium like that. You can't use guitar, you can't use piano, where Rabindranath himself composed all of his songs in piano. So those, they created the taboo about Rabindranath.
Ultra-nationalistic.
Yeah, if you say anything against Rabindranath, or if you say even you don't like Rabindranath, they accept that as like a blasphemy. So that was Hadi's problem. Hadi's not problem, but objection. And haven't we all suffered from those people? We have.
Yeah.
We still are. So that's why Hadi was so specific that yes, Nazrul, Farooq Ahmed, Al-Mahmoud, these people is our people. It's not about who is Muslim, who is Hindu. It's not. It's not about any religious thing, but who is owning Bangladesh. I saw one of your video, like you did a sarcastic video during, regarding the national anthem, which is absolutely mesmerizing. We loved it. And yes, you did sarcastic thing, but everything you said was right. It's a fact, it's a history. So that's the thing. But because Hadi came from a very humble background, Hadi studied in madrasa, Hadi's way of dress up, styling looks like Rahat Shantonu or Shafquat Rabbee Anik. That's why you can hit Hadi. You can attack Hadi. And not only the leftist so-called, Aumi fascist thing, but also a lot of our people smashed Hadi like right, left and center.
So let's talk about that. So basically what we are talking about here is that there is a glass ceiling in this culture, in Bengali culture, where someone like Osman Hadi gets a boundary beyond which he cannot flourish. And that boundary is arbitrary, and it is created by the cultural elites who have certain construction of a culture, certain construction, an idea about what should be Bengali culture. And that's where people like even you get stuck, because it's not that you are not qualified, it's just that you are hitting the glass ceiling of this so-called, as if you care, by the way, but this glass ceiling beyond which you cannot just go, because these Santi Niketani, sari wearing, dhuti wearing people are just sitting there, and then they are just saying, oh, you cannot get in because you do not worship as much as we do.
We do, yes.
Bengali culture, even though we are by born Bengalis, raised in this land, we made music, songs, film, you name it. We have done all of it. But then you get this glass ceiling. And for Hadi, it was uniquely more difficult, because I think you are going to talk about that, because he said to you that the girl wearing t-shirt, please talk about.
So yeah, because Hadi came from a madrasa background, so his dress-up sense was more like a kabli, those Pathani suit and everything, and he used to wear tupi and all that. So the very first day when he entered the class of Dhaka University in political science, he was sitting in the first bench, okay? And the teacher was like giving the lecture and everything, and he said a word, which word was like said wrongly. And Hadi was correcting himself in a very humble way. What Hadi is like, look at his smile. He is just beautiful like that as a human being. And the teacher, the lecturer, the professor, whoever it is, got so offended. He was attacking Hadi because of his attire.
For his dress up.
For his dress up, for his tupi and everything. And then Hadi got sent back to the last bench. And after that, he got told, you are not allowed to my class anymore. That's what Hadi told me. And I think even he had a show on that as well. So anyway, so Hadi's language, like
No, but go there. Like he said to you.
So so he said to me that the sort of humiliation he suffered, he got from the people of his attire. Even a girls wear a t-shirt, sleeveless, or even a bikini, should not get that kind of oppression.
So this was a remarkable evidence of Hadi, the person's inclusivity and also perceived fairness towards people who would not actually accept him as a person, but he would have accepted them anyway. So what he said to Shantonu is that the humiliation that I get for wearing the dress that I wear, I do not want that for a woman wearing like a bikini or a t-shirt or whatever in Dhaka streets. So that's what his real philosophy was. And that man ended up being tagged as a
far right
or
mobocracy. One of the famous YouTubers / journalists called him a devil back in February 2025. I was awestruck to see that. I said, how? Like, why? He is such an innocent. He was like my son, literally, because he's like 10, 12 years, younger than me. And I used to tell him all the time, Bhaiya, you are spending so much time in activism, this and that, give some more time, your son, more your wife, that's the haq they deserve. But he was like, Bhaiya, a few more months and then, I'll take some rest and this and that. And now he's resting in peace.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about, like, where do you think this whole connotation about Hadi being somebody who was manipulating the mob came from? Like, did he ever talk to you about that aspect of his career? Because he's a cultural activist. He was inspiring people to be culturally inclusive. That is his primary identity. But then during the Sheikh Hasina ouster, obviously, like many other young people, he had to hit the streets and do whatever he had to do. And, which was obviously not the prettiest thing to do. I mean, it's not easy and cute when you are fighting cops and paramilitary on the street with stones and sticks. So that aspect is not going to go away. He was indeed fighting in the street. But somehow these cultural activists ended up being labeled as a person who's rising up the youth towards wrong direction. So did he ever open up about that?
I can openly challenge to anyone and everyone. Show me one video, one content, one write-up where Hadi encouraged people to do mobs. When people used to tag him as a far right and mob and all those things, he was sad. But at the same time, he used to tell me, Bhaiya, I never did any sort of mob in my whole life. The only time he did he was very aggressive, he was very angry. The day our brother Nahid, our brother Hasna got stuck in a certain place in Bangladesh. That day he made that remarkable line that so that's the only time. And obviously, why not? If you know right now that
so let me just translate that. So it was a day when NCP, which is a newly formed political party, they went to Gopalganj, right? So that is the hometown of fallen dictator. So they went there, and then there was a massive protest by the locals, because that area was actually a huge beneficiary of the fallen dictator, and because of their ancestral roots, Gopalganj was actually taken care of by the Hasina family. Gopalganj people obviously love them, the Hasina clan, and there is nothing wrong with it because she was from that land and she took care of that land. So the people are still fond of her, and naturally people, whenever you get benefited, you do love your hometown person. So that aspect cannot be lost. So when NCP went there was an attack on NCP, the young leaders of NCP, by the locals, and then they got stuck. And that's when Hadi said, basically, just get our boys out of that place. Otherwise, I'm going to shawa mawa chira falamo, which means shawa is a slang, which means your genitals. I'm going to basically rip apart your genitals, and that's what basically he said. But it's an expression. It's not obviously literal. Nobody wants to take anybody's genital out.
And one thing I want to add, see, this sort of slang, a lot of our activists did it. I did many of my content, I use slang. Maybe you did too. During the July, Faham Bhai is one of our legendary activists in our genre, right? In his video,
Despicable
the
Mother.
Despicable Mother Chod, that was like a poem to us. So when Faham Bhai says something like that, the people accepted, the elite people accepted. Why not about with Hadi? So that's my point, is why we are so racist in that way, that when West PhD holder doctorate does that, is so cool. Oh my God, that man is so, we admire that. Obviously, we own that too. But at the same time, we have to own someone like Hadi, right, left, and center, because look at his not only singing, writing, and thing. The culture he's established during his election campaigning. He used to serve muri and batasha. Who does that? Every freaking morning in Fajr Waqt, he used to do campaigning. Who does that? Who can do that? No one. He has set a trend in Bangladesh how to do election. He has set the trend how to celebrate Pohela Boishakh, what our ancients used to do. The Eider Mela, Eid Anundo Michil, and everything. So he was the visionary of Bangladeshi, like, Bangali, Bangladeshi, there's a certain fine line. So he was upholding the Bangladeshi culture at the highest level.
So, okay, so we're almost out of time here. We are going to wrap it up soon. So my question for you is, where do you think Hadi is going? Because Hadi's words are actually becoming more powerful, more omnipresent, getting more traction from the population here. It used to be a youth-based phenomena. Now it is widely distributed to the older generation. And he's being as successful converting the older people now as he was converting the younger people to his ideology. So where do you think all this is heading towards for the legacy of this wonderful father, wonderful young man, Hadi?
See, I'm a pessimist person, yet about Hadi, I'm very optimistic. I'm absolutely optimistic that Hadi will be remembered in Bangladesh in hundreds of years. Why I'm saying this? Because of his conviction, because of his honesty. This person was so freaking honest,
yes,
that we can't even think about it. As I said, with monetary purpose, with like women was surrounding with him, not a single time anyone does any kind of allegation against him. And that's the thing, you can't buy Hadi. People like Hadi, person like Hadi can't be sold. Their price tag is infinity. So all of us maybe has a price tag. Maybe someone is 5 koti, someone is 5,000 koti. Hadi is one of a kind. You can't buy Hadi. That's why they killed him, because his conviction, his vision was so straightforward and he was so honest. There's no other way but stopping him like this. So yes, Hadi will be remembered because the sort of love I'm seeing everywhere is obnoxious. I was his janaza, bhaiya. I was his janaza because I never met my brother. Because as I mentioned, I know him
it was mostly a phone conversation,
yes,
and an online
video call and everything. So my dream was to come Bangladesh this time and hugged him. I can show you my voice things and everything. That so many times I told him, I want to just hug you, brother. I want to just hug you. But I couldn't. So I went to his janaza and people were everywhere. SSF has to come and took us to the front line because we are part of Inqilab Manch. My Inqilab Manch's first project was done by us. So he will be remembered, inshallah, because if a person like Hadi not going to exist in future, then Bangladesh has no future. That's my only thing.
That's a profound note. I would conclude this show with a personal anecdote of me with Hadi. When I reached out to him for the first time, one of my main concern was whether Hadi was eloquent enough to do an English interview. So I asked him, are you comfortable talking in English? And Hadi told me, brother, I actually teach English in a coaching center, which I didn't know. And then he also said, brother, I am a faculty at a small little university where I teach. So although I haven't practiced English for quite some time, I have the confidence that I can pull it off. And I have already mentioned in the show that there was a rapid fire section where Hadi had to answer one word answers. And his answers were phenomenal. And our interviewer, Zunaid Rabbani, who unfortunately couldn't make for this show, he's in Australia right now. So he just was completely mesmerized by Hadi's clarity of his message. Now, Hadi, when we released our 1-minute trailer, that trailer for Centrist Nation went viral because of Hadi's face and obviously the rhetoric that he had. I called Hadi and I left a message for him that, hey, your trailer is doing excellent. It just gathered like hundreds of thousands of views in 1 hour. Hadi, being so humble and so warm, left me a voice message. And I do not know about the protocol here, whether it's nice to play a person who's no longer with us, his voice message or not, the ethical side of it. But I think in public interest, people should hear that message. And that would actually let you see the warmth and the conviction of this young man who we lost. So he was just giving me a few words about how seriously he took that interview and how he was not fully happy with how it went, and then how it progressed. So please take a listen about that conversation that Hadi had with me, a voice message that Hadi left for me. And that would be the end of this show. Until next time, goodbye. This is Shafquat Rabbee signing out.
সাকিব ভাইয়া অনেক শুকরিয়া। আমার ভাইয়া মুশকিল কি, আমি জুনায়েদ ভাইরেও বলছি, মানে গত 2 বছরে তো আমি আর ইংলিশ বলি নাই। তো এই জন্য হলে এমনি তো 1 মিনিটেরও প্রিপারেশন নিতে পারি নাই, গিয়া যেরকম পারছি বলছি। তো প্রথম 1 ঘন্টার পরে আমার ইনার্শিয়া কাইটে গেছে। তখন মনে হইতেছিল যে শোটা এবার ভালো করে করা যাইতো। তো আমি আরো জুনায়েদ ভাই বলছি যে ভাই আপনি পুরো দেখেন, যদি বিশ্রী হয় তাইলে প্রয়োজনে আমি আবার এসে একটা মাত্র শো যেটা আমি আবার এসে পুরো রেকর্ড দিব। কিন্তু আমি ভাই আসলেই হ্যাপি না, আমি এখন মধ্যে পুরো দেখি নাই। কিন্তু গত 2 বছরে একদম তো মোটেই বলি না, ইংলিশ চর্চার মধ্যে নাই। হঠাৎ করে বইলা কোনো হোমওয়ার্ক ছিল না। আর 1 ঘন্টা বলার পরে মনে হয়েছে যে না, এখন একটু মোটামুটি মনে হয় হইছে, জড়তা কাটে গেছে। এরপরে ভাই বললো যে না মোটামুটি চলে। তো আল্লাহ ভরসা ভাই, দেখি আমি রাতে দেখবো, আমি তো পুরো দেখিও না এখন পর্যন্ত। দোয়া করেন ভাইয়া। আসসালামু আলাইকুম।